Hey everybody, Jam Creates here again. Gonna do something to show you one of my creations from back in the day. I'm not exactly sure what year it was created, but I'm pretty sure I was in middle school, maybe sixth grade, when I did this. This is called Night Stalker. This was done in July, apparently, issue number one. Yes, I had the little corner box because, Marvel had the little corner box, and I thought that was cool. So here's a little bit of a wider look at the book. I'll move it a little bit. There we go. Yes, a very dynamic cover, I know. But this is something I want to do on this site, is share some of my stuff that I made a long time ago, just to show you, absolutely, I was making comic books as a kid. And, they're probably terrible, but hey, what are you going to do? So let's take a look at what it says right here. In crime-infested Delta 3, only he can save this city. What the heck does what is Delta 3? I have no idea. Don't even ask me. I don't know. Here's like the Batman, Spider-Man, I'm swinging and throwing a bad guy thing. A random face, and obviously it's pretty obvious what this was inspired by. Just look at his costume colors. And then it becomes even more obvious in about 2 seconds. When you get here, there's the title, What You Don't See Can Hurt You. And then in Delta 3, an experimental city. What does that even mean? Crime is everywhere, but this young man feels safe with his parents. Do we see where this is going? They're driving this red lightning bolt car. Okay. Dude with an Uzi standing up to shoot for some reason, because I guess it's a convertible. Haha, the one guy saying, and then, oh no, what's gonna happen? Dun dun dun. Say goodnight. Get him, Jimbo. The dialogue is absolutely amazing. And this is kind of, I'm not going to just read the whole comic to you because that's kind of silly. If you want to read this comic, it's actually on my website. I will put the link in the description so that you can just go over there and you can read it yourself. I think it's even downloadable on my website as a PDF if for some strange reason you wanted to keep it or print it out, I guess. Anyway, this is something that you'll probably notice through a lot of my older, comics that I made and things that I made when I was younger, is the violence level. I truly enjoyed, for whatever reason, making my comics a little bit violent. They weren't overly violent, but you can see the blood splatter of the parents as they're getting shot by Jimbo with the Uzi standing up in the car, which, he really should be wearing a seatbelt. Neither one of them are. See, they're terrible criminals. They're not even wearing seatbelts. And then we get the dramatic broken glasses. I'll find you. The kid has no neck. That's really tragic. That's the true tragedy of this whole thing, was his parents were killed, yes, but he was born without a neck. That's god-awful. What happened to this poor kid? Anyway, here he is training. His name is Joe Masterson, by the way. I don't know. That's just his name. And you see him. He works out intensely. And then, of course, I cannot go out like this. I need a costume. So then, of course, he goes to his local Spirit Halloween and gets a Batman costume, breaks the ears off, and says, when I wear this costume, I am the Night Stalker. And then this is his Masterson estate. A lot of windows. Not the grounds. Apparently, this mansion is in the middle of just a void of nothingness. That's another thing you'll notice about a lot of these books. There are pretty much no backgrounds ever. It just is what it is. I mean, what are you gonna do? I was a kid. I was just making these things up as I went along. That's the other thing, was there was no writing for these comics. I didn't write out the plot beforehand and then make the comic. I literally just made up the story as I went along and then just drew what I wanted to draw. So that was kind of just how it was, I mean, listen, everybody's done this, right? I mean, I think a lot of people have done this, made their own comics and stuff. He's got these funky little, like, sort of almost like Daredevil. It's like a cross between Daredevil and Batman. I mean, you see him swinging between two light posts. Like, honestly, is that even? You might as well just walk. Like, what is he swinging? Like 10 feet? Anyway, here he is swinging, and then, like, I actually like this scene. Even today, like, I know it's like, the drawing is not great or anything like that, like the body or any of that stuff. Like, neither one of them have necks because, again, apparently everyone was born without a neck. But I actually, believe it or not, I kind of like the momentum, I guess you would call it, of him breaking the glass and coming into the bad guys. Like, it's kind of cool, actually, I think, for a kid. I'll give myself that credit. Whatever. Okay. Also, you'll notice that this is colored. Not all of the comics that I made as a kid were completely colored in. This one just happened to be because it was one of the first ones I made. Here he is just beating some dude up and then swinging, and then there's a close-up of his face, and he says there's the building, and that really would have been a good spot to, like, maybe draw the building, like, right there, and so you could see him looking at it. But I didn't want to draw buildings. I was a kid. I just wanted to draw superheroes beating people up. I didn't want to draw buildings. So anyway, there's a lot of this too. You'll notice, like, one person per panel, and then, like, somebody talking off panel, which is kind of funny. And then this big dude in a suit that does not fit him. But that was, he was supposed to be intimidating. And then we've got, again, you notice the panel, the layout of the page is pretty bare bones. It's just, square, 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 square. There's not a lot to it there. I think that'll change as we start looking at other ones that I made. We'll see. I mean, I'm kind of rediscovering these at the same time that you guys will be seeing them. So, here he is fighting this guy, and then, somebody who I guess I just didn't want to draw a whole dude. I just drew a hand with a gun, shoots, he moves out of the way, it hits the big guy, more blood. I liked the blood. I don't know, I had a thing for the blood splatter, I guess. And then he ties up the dude, and, he makes a little quip, don't go anywhere. Like, I don't know, whatever. And then, he kicks in the door, get him, and boom, he's punching this dude, and he says, "Oh, Jimbo," and he's like, "Aha, Jimbo." Jimbo's got some really long arms. And then he knocks this guy, and then punches through the wall, and then grabs him, pulls him through the wall. He, like, punches through and then breaks him through the wall, and I bet you felt as safe as me. Help! The police will take care of you. And then outside, and then, what's funny? I'm just realizing now, I guess that was Jimbo getting knocked out, and this was the crime boss that he worked for. So there's a lot inferred in this story that isn't actually told, I guess, because the crime boss must have ordered the murder of his parents, and Jimbo still is just nothing but a lackey, and he just gets, like, bonk, punched in the face as Night Stalker walks by. Anyway, then the police show up, and then there's too much crime in Delta 3. I'll fight it. And then there was my patented little The End ribbon thing. You'll notice that that's in almost every single one of the comics that I made. I just liked it. I thought it looked cool, and I still think it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. It's whatever. Especially for a kid, it was a neat little thing that was easy enough to draw, and it added a touch of class, I'll say, to my comic book. So you'll also notice he still has the hole in his cape. The cape was shot, so he's still got the hole in there. There's some consistency to it. And then, okay, I just want to show something funny that I was just realizing now as I was going through it. The back of this paper, obviously I wasn't doing this on, like, Bristol board or anything. This is just regular old paper. What's really funny is my father brought home, because I was always drawing. So my father used to bring home paper all the time from work. If they had extra paper that they didn't need, like leftover stuff or, whatever, things of that nature, he would just bring me home paper, like just reams and reams of paper all the time. And I would use them all. and he would just bring this stuff home, and I would use it. And you can see it's from Airborne Express. That my dad used to work for Airborne Express when I was a kid, and obviously they don't even exist anymore. But yeah, I just thought that's kind of funny. Like, I didn't even care about what was on the back. I mean, you can even see it through. You hold it up to the light, you can see it through there. But who cares? It was just fun. I was making comic books and I didn't care. So anyway, let me know what you think. If you want to actually like look at this comic book, you can do it on my website. It's actually www.jamcreates.weebly.com. You can also check it out. It's on Tapas, because I started posting some of my old comics on Tapas. Just look for Jam Creates on Tapas and you'll find it there. It's Jam Comics Classics is what I called them, the whole line of them. So you can check that out either on my website, or you can check it out on, which I'll put the links below. You'll see it on either at my website or at Tapas, and you can see I have a bunch of them uploaded already, and I've got a whole bunch more waiting to be uploaded that I haven't put up yet. So it'll definitely be kind of interesting for you to check out, and you can see if you want. You can look at inside the mind of a probably, I don't know, 12-year-old, 11-year-old me, something like that. So all right, this was what I used to draw like way back in the day, and you'll see some, if you go to my website, you'll see some of my more recent stuff and whatnot. So check it out. I don't know, it's cool. You might like it. That was Night Stalker, issue number 1, which implies that there will be an issue number 2, and oh yes, there is. Just wait until you see that one. Okay, so take it easy. This is Jam Creates, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.